Wanna go closer. Wanna go closer.
All right. We are about to get started. Let me see some rabbits in the chat if you guys are ready to get things going. Let me see some rabbits in the chat. Boom, boom. I like this music. All right. All right, I think we are ready to go. You're seeing some. Your mom says I have my ways. Oh, man. All right, so Huan, Chandler, Athena, Grace, Chris, Walking Dead USA, Randall, Dude. Welcome into the stream. I think we're ready. I think we are ready. Let's go ahead and get things started. All right. And, oh, there we go. It's been a long time since I've done these streams. Let's pull up the chat. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream on Regularjosh1. It's been a while. It's been too long. I was gonna actually do a live stream last week, but last week, I think I was just doing stuff last week to where I just couldn't necessarily. Yeah. I think like last week just wasn't really working out for me to be able to do a live stream. So I couldn't necessarily do that. And then I was going to do a live stream yesterday, but I was exhausted. I was so tired. You have absolutely like no idea. I just had like barely any energy yesterday. I think part of it was that I was at Disneyland on Friday, and I guess I did more than I thought I did. And so yesterday I literally just kind of took it easy. Like I was kind of in my PJs all day, ordered in some Uber Eats for lunch. I mean, for dinner. I had a lazy day yesterday. So that's why I didn't necessarily do a live stream yesterday, essentially. I was just tired. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on a second. Gonna stand 12313 says, Josh, do you recommend the movie Boogie Nights for kids? I don't think I've ever seen the movie Boogie Nights. Let me look that up. Boogie Nights. I don't see it. No, it says it's rated R, so I would have to assume no. I would have to assume probably not. Again, I've never seen it. This is my first time ever hearing of the film, so I literally would have like no idea really about, but I would have to assume if it's rated R, I would say no. Your mom says you and me both, man. Oh, so you also was pretty tired yesterday? Yeah. Again, I was at Disney. I wasn't at Disney for that. Well, nah, I was there for like maybe 7 hours, 8 hours, I think, and whatnot. I was doing a vlog there as well. So I have been doing vlogs. I have been making videos. It's just, so I will explain that necessarily. Athena says I was tired too. Okay, I guess everybody was tired yesterday. That's funny. But yeah, let me explain that for a bit. So I have been doing a lot of vlogs, and that is not necessarily why I haven't been posting videos on this channel. It was just more so light blocks vids. What's up? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily that I was doing a lot of vlogs and that's why I wasn't making videos on this channel. It was mainly just like sometimes, like last week, for example, I wanted to make a video. I wanted to post a video on Friday. But unfortunately, like certain things just didn't work out. Like I tried to kind of like see if Alex was available, and while he was available, there were just times of the week, like, or there were times of the day when I wanted to make a video where certain other things, like certain business things I had to take care of, like just completely made it where it slipped my mind, and I just ended up forgetting, like I have to, with those videos, I have to write a script and, basically edit the audio so I can send it over to him so he can start doing editing and whatnot. So because of that, I couldn't really necessarily like, I don't know. I guess I couldn't get too much into the energy of like making the video, if that makes sense. I don't think it was that. Again, I think it was mainly just that I was kind of forgetful, at least throughout this week, right? When it came to time to trying to make a video. But there's a lot of things that's kind of been going on as well, so that's partially why I wasn't really able to just hunker down, you know what I mean? And just instantly make a video, if that makes sense. So that was kind of why things were the way that they were. Let me turn that down just a little bit. Just hold on a second, just a little bit. Whoop, hold on. Whoops. It's playing in my headphones as well, so that's why I'm trying to turn it down. But let me also do this. Okay. Let me know if you hear me more than the. Actually, I think I could say it. Let me know if the music is still, if you can still hear it. I'm just trying for it to not be too loud in my headphones, because, you know. But yeah, so sometimes when it comes to me making videos, right, like it's really kind of like a juggling game. It's really more so like, do I have time to, you know, really write a script and record a video? I mean, I could just make a video where I'm just like airing out my thoughts and I'm just speaking instead of reading from a script. It's just, I'm not exactly the best at doing that sometimes. You know, like sometimes I literally do need a script in order for like my thoughts to come out cleanly, because I do have a tendency to like really repeat myself a lot. And so I don't necessarily want to listen to myself speaking, right? And I'm constantly just, hold on. I'm trying to bring the chat up again. There we go. I don't want to necessarily like bring, you know, speak, I think, or listen to myself speak and just kind of have to siphon through all the times that I'm just repeating myself constantly, you know? And so, I mean, I don't do it that often. It's just, there's a lot of times when I do repeat myself. And so it's kind of just easier for me to write a script. So at the very least, I have my thoughts just written better. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what it is. Now, I have been making like face videos, kind of like in this setting, where I'm just in front of a microphone looking into the camera and I'm speaking to you guys. I have made a couple of those, and I probably should go back to making some of those as well, because those are easy to do. Like Alex, or Gary the editor, I should say, he doesn't edit those. I'm the one that edits those, because those are just like very simple to put together. You know what I mean? Like they're just cut up the image, or cut up the clips, you know, put them together, and basically just render. That's essentially what I do with my vlogs, right? Like essentially with the vlogs, all I really do is basically like I'm recording, you know, certain clips around Disney, and then I'm just putting them all together. And then I'm just uploading it to YouTube. It's a little bit more complicated when it comes to the kind of videos with my Sky avatar, you know, where he's like either moving around or doing whatever. You know what I mean? That takes a little bit of time, which, not saying that's a problem or anything, but that's partially why it's a bit more difficult to come out with those videos, mainly because of the stuff I'm dealing with, but also, or not that I'm dealing with anything like crazy though, but I'm, you know, sometime kind of escapes me sometimes now, but also it's escaping Alex a lot too. He, you know, doesn't have the most amount of time to really be able to edit a lot of these particular videos. And so we have to try to work within each other's schedule, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, you know? So yeah, so hopefully I can come out with a video sometime next week. That is definitely the plan. Because I want to continue like getting better at editing. Not editing videos, but posting videos on this channel. Whether it is that I'm doing the videos with Sky as the avatar, you know, the PNG, I guess you could say, or me coming out with these kind of videos and whatnot. So I'm gonna try to have to balance that. We'll see what I end up doing, but I'm gonna definitely try to improve. Virginia Lake, hello, welcome to the stream. You've seen me in 2 streams now. You're seeing me in this stream, and now you saw me on Friday on in Mondo's stream. So that's very interesting. So you get to see me twice. Yeah, but I hope you had a good weekend. Virginia Lake says your latest vlog was great. Awesome. You know, I'm always doubting myself when I'm doing, in fact, you know what? Let me bring up the vlog actually. Hold on. Don't play. There we go. Okay. Let me bring up the vlog. Hold on. Don't play. Don't play. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Don't play. Don't play. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Don't play. Don't play. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Don't play. Don't play. There we go. Okay. Hold on. Don't play. Don't play. There we go. Okay. I'm really vibing to this music. I think this is like the first time I've played this playlist, and it's kind of like an Afro-centric kind of style. It's pretty dope. Oh, just seeing your comment right there. Sweet. Says, hey Josh, what a great vlog. I'm so excited for Phantasmic to return. Yeah, I can't wait for Phantasmic to return. That's gonna be awesome. Should I just link the... Yeah, you know what, why not? I'll do it. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put a link in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. So if you want to check out the latest vlog, I'll also pin it as well. Pin message. There we go. So yeah, so if you guys want to check out my latest vlog at Disney, you can check it out. It is currently pinned in the chat right now. I essentially am trying out some foods. That's kind of like the stick, I guess you can say, for my vlogs on the other channel that I'm doing, is that I'm mainly kind of just trying out like a lot of foods. I am what you would consider a foodie, so that's kind of mainly what I'm consisting of doing when it comes to these vlogs. I'm gonna try to do a lot more in the vlogs, you know, like I don't want to just be focusing on foods all the time, but you know, that is kind of the main thing right now, but I am going to try to do some more stuff. But yeah, Virginia Lake, I'm glad that you enjoyed the vlog. What I was going to say though was that, hold on, Kawaii Life Antonio says, hey Josh, how you doing? And on a Sunday afternoon, I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing really, really good. I am, excuse me. I'm definitely better today than I was yesterday. Yesterday I was just like tired. I was gonna do a live stream yesterday, but I was just way too tired. Like I did a vlog at Disney on Friday. Again, I do have it linked in the chat, so you can check it out there. But I was tired yesterday because of the day I had at Disney. So, I basically just kind of like took a lazy day. And so now I am definitely, you know, full of energy. And so I have the energy to do a live stream today for you guys. I wanted to do a live stream for you this weekend regardless, because I didn't post a video this week, which I was going to, but it just didn't necessarily work out, unfortunately. But yeah, so that's basically how I'm doing right now. But thank you so much for joining. It's been a while since we've done a live stream on this channel, and so you know, hopefully we can do more. I mean, I mainly do it if I don't have too many like videos coming up and stuff like that though, but I could still do a live stream most weekends and what have you. So yeah, but Virginia Lake, you say it was great to see you on Mondo's live stream. Don't doubt yourself, you were looking comfortable in your vlog. Definitely check out Josh's new vlog. Thank you so much. The fact that Mondo was able to allow me to like shout out my vlogging channel on his live stream was freaking awesome. He's an incredible dude to meet, so it's always awesome to be able to bump into him, you know what I mean? So that's really cool. But yeah, I am honestly getting a bit more comfortable with vlogging at Disney. It's still a little awkward, you know. I'm still looking. Thankfully, there is places where I can not really be in like too crowded of spaces, so at the very least I can like have the camera pointed to myself and I can, you know, just talk to the camera while I'm vlogging and whatnot. And I am definitely getting more comfortable with it, and I am getting better at like ignoring everybody else while I'm doing the vlogs, because before I was not able to do that, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't really like get comfortable with pointing the camera at me with a big microphone on top of the camera pointing at me as well, and you know, like just talking with the camera, because like, you know, I'm very self-conscious of that. Like people would be walking by and they'd be like, oh, is he vlogging? But I mean, the thing is, something I also have to realize or recognize when I'm doing this, there are so many people that are vlogging at Disney, or so many people that are making content when they go to Disney parks. You know what I mean? Like they also do, there's a lot of people that do live streams. There is not a single day when I go to Disneyland or California Adventure. I'm usually going to both parks. There is not a single day when I'm there and there is not a live streamer. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of people that will literally have their phones on like a gimbal essentially, and they're kind of just like talking to their live their chat on the screen and whatnot. So so I'm not really all that different from a lot of people that are doing stuff out there. I even had somebody like next to me on when I was on Matterhorn, like waiting on a single rider from Matterhorn, and they were doing like a TikTok live. So, which was interesting. I thought he was a TikTok NPC live streamer. I was like, there is a TikTok NPC live streamer at Disney? What? I thought that's what it was, because he did, Rose is so good. Rose is so good. I was like, no. It was crazy. But yeah, so like I have to kind of, you know, remember a lot of people, and not even just that, but a lot of people are constantly taking pictures of themselves at Disney, whether it's a selfie or they have a friend kind of taking pictures of them with like the new merch or food or whatever. So, you know, I just have to continue getting comfortable with that, which is what I'm doing. And so hopefully like the vlogs just continue to get better. And I'm also using like a different video editing software for this. So I'm kind of, you know, experimenting with different things in the vlogs as well. So that's also what's going on too. So yeah. I just realized I do not have my water bottle with me right now. It is still in my room. So I will be right back very quickly. Do not go anywhere. I'll be back in 30 minutes just to get my water bottle. So hold on. Back like I never left. Okay. All right. We are back. Yeah, look, when I do these live streams, I need to have my water with me, because every time I do these live streams, maybe it's because of the amount of time, the amount of talking I'm doing, my voice starts to get like, I don't know if it's tired or dry or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that is essentially nice red shirt. Yeah, it's Pikachu. It's literally one of my favorite shirts. You have no idea how much I like Pikachu. Is like maybe it's basic, but he's my favorite Pokemon. All right, so yeah, I love wearing this shirt. I wear the shirt as many times as possible, or it's like one of the few shirts that I have in my collection where I'm always like, okay, do I have Pikachu? Yep, Pikachu, putting it on. It's almost kind of like the bluey shirt. Like if I have the bluey shirt, it's clean and everything, almost instantly putting that on. Yeah. It's crazy. Like I was kind of looking through my clothing because I was wanting to do like some, obviously I was trying to wash my clothes, and I just had to, like, I was seeing like the Pokemon shirts I've had, and I think when I like recollected like the amount of Pokemon shirts I actually have, I think it's like 6. I think it's like literally 6 Pokemon shirts that I have in my collection. So I don't know if I want to call it a collection though, but just in my drawers. So yeah. Virginia Lake says, love your bluey t-shirt. You know, it's funny because I forgot, like, when I was on Mondo's live stream that I was wearing the bluey shirt. So, yeah, I love wearing that shirt at Disney. I wear, like, and especially considering, because, like, I see other people wearing that shirt, and so sometimes I'm kind of like, oh, hey, he's got a bluey shirt on. Oh, so does that guy. And then I see, like, the different kind of bluey shirts that some people have, and I'm like, I'm gonna need to find where they got that shirt, and I'm gonna need to buy my own. You know what I mean? That's honestly how I show, like, I guess, appreciation for a show or something. If I have your shirt or your merchandise, then it's all good. Yeah. Yeah, red t-shirt reminds me of Steven Universe for some reason. Well, I mean, it's not really. Hey, Gary the editor is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if they have snail emojis here. So if they have snail emojis, put snails in the chat for Gary the editor. As he spins into oblivion. Okay, they do have snails. Perfect. There we go. Snails in the chat for Gary the editor. Let's show him some appreciation, especially for the channel. The channel would not be where it is today if it was not for this guy. All right? Yes, I am unfortunately the face of this channel. No, Sky's the face of the channel. I'm just the voice of the channel. But if it wasn't for his dedication and just the editing that he does with these videos, this channel would be nothing. I would not be at almost 12,000 subs. Crazy. Like, man. I need to, of course, get better at posting on this channel, because I do want to continue to, like, grow. But, yeah. Your mom says, unfortunately, is crazy. Look, I make self-deprecated jokes about myself sometimes. It's not. I laugh at myself. Okay, like. So yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I think I was responding to. I think so. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else that I want to talk about, or should we just go straight into a Q&A, or just at least looking at what some people say in the chat? That's probably what I'm gonna do, I think, because I don't think there's anything in particular. Yeah, I think so. So, oh, you know what? Actually, because I think I did see a couple of people mentioning it in the chat. But we do have Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish, premiering tomorrow on Nickelodeon. I'm looking forward to it. The show, in my personal opinion, is looking pretty good. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, the show looks very good. I'm excited for it. There's been, like, I think there's been a clip of, like, a scene from the first episode, and it looks good. It really does look good. It definitely looks like a change in pace in terms of, like, the tone of the show. It looks like there may be a little bit more of an emotional kind of, like, feeling to this one, considering that she really wants to see her brother again and whatnot. So that's going to be very cool. So I'm going to be checking out the show throughout this week. I don't know if I'm going to come out with a video on it soon, you know, reviewing it. I could next week, possibly. I know they're going to be airing new episodes all this week, and I'm not exactly sure for the following week. If they're doing it for the following week, then I may wait 2 weeks to do a review of this, and then maybe I don't. I'm not really sure. We'll see when it comes to that, though. But I am 100% looking forward to it. Like, it's definitely a change in pace compared to the other Fairly Odd Parents stuff that we've been getting for a while, especially that live action show. Let's not even get into that. What was Virginia Lakes is traveling late tonight to Southern California, so excited to see my family and go into Universal Studios during the week. Nice. Well, I hope you have a good trip, Virginia. Glad that you're coming down to my neck of the woods. Universal Studios. I need to go back to Universal Studios. I went. Was it April? When did I film? No, I think it was early March. It might have been early March or was it early April? I don't really remember. But it was definitely before, it was the week before I did the third season filming of my show. But yeah, Universal Studios, I gotta go back, especially since now it's their 60th anniversary of the studio tour, and I want to experience that. But I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to experience it before the summer crowds are out, because we're literally in like the last 2 weeks of May right now, and kids are almost out of school. Some kids might be out of school very soon, actually. So, yeah, I may have to try to make a trip up there very, very soon. And if not, then, well, I guess I'm just not going to go. Because Universal Studios, because of how small of a park it is, when it gets busy during the summer, it's busy. Okay, you think Disney is ridiculous when it's crowded, which it still is. Okay, Disney is still pretty crowded when there's a lot of people there. But Universal Studios, again, because of how small it is, kind of how compact it is, you can just feel how much more crowded it is, you know what I mean? So it's like, you know. So yeah, that's I'm gonna try to get to Universal when it's not too crowded. Skeptic the Wolf said, I wish I could see Universal Studios again, but due to the price levels nowadays, it's just bonkers. You know, honestly, this is what I do, right? It's not necessarily that I can't afford it, but for me, it's just more so that I kind of don't like spending, like, unless it's on bills or, you know, maybe subscriptions or whatever. I don't tend to like spending a certain amount of money, or I don't know if it's necessarily that. It's more so sometimes I try to keep the amount that I'm spending per week to a certain minimum, if that makes sense, if I can help it. And that's, again, including bills. Like, if there's bills that I gotta pay, obviously I have to pay those bills. I have all that on auto pay anyway, and so that gets taken out and yada yada yada. But it's like, say, paying for gas or paying for groceries or paying for clothing or whatever, or paying for takeout, right? I want to try to keep that in a certain amount of like how much I'm spending each week, you know? And so if I do want to go back to Universal Studios, this is what I personally do. Because I have PayPal and I'm approved for like pay for later, I think that's what they call it. I usually do that. So it's basically like, you know, if it's a $155 ticket, if it's like going to Universal or Disney. I don't do that with Disney now because I'm a Magic Key Pass holder now. But if I want to go to Universal, but I don't want to necessarily spend all the $155 at one time, what I'll do is I'll do the PayPal pay for later thing, and I usually opt for the pay every 2 weeks. So if it's like $155, you basically divide that into 4 payments, and you're paying that every 2 weeks until like it's fully paid off, which is basically over the course of 2 months, right? So that's essentially how I do it, you know? That's usually when I don't want to particularly spend all of that money within that week, you know what I mean? So you still get the ticket, and, you know, that's only, I would only recommend doing that if you know you can do that, you know? So that's essentially how I do it. So that's most likely how I'm probably gonna get my next ticket to Universal, probably. But yeah. But yeah, hopefully you'll be able to go back to Universal Studios someday. I definitely want to go back, not even just for the tour, but 100% for Waterworld. Waterworld Stunt Show is literally the best freaking show. It's the best stunt show ever, okay? Like, I don't know if there is any other stunt show at any theme park that could even top Waterworld. I don't know. Like, it's been, next year, it will literally have been running at Universal Studios for 30 years. So that tells you how much people love this show. It just, there's no misses. Especially when you have like that airplane that kind of just flies over the wall and crashes into the water. the coolest part of the entire show. It's fantastic. Skeptor the Wolf says PayPal is an app, right? Yeah, it's essentially an app, but it's also a website. Basically, like, you kind of just sign up with your card, and you kind of do certain payments through PayPal sometimes, instead of just taking it out of your bank account, right? So, yeah. So that's kind of how I've been doing it sometimes. I don't pay everything with PayPal. Sometimes it's kind of easier to pay with PayPal. PayPal is an online currency. Yeah. Sometimes it is kind of easier to pay with PayPal because you know how, like, when you go online and you want to purchase something, and, you'll probably have to usually type in your card information, or maybe you have to type in your bank information. With PayPal, they kind of have that stuff saved onto your account. And so when you pay for things online sometimes, and they say you want to pay for PayPal, you can click on the Pay for PayPal app or option, and you basically it just goes through. You don't necessarily have to type in your card information each time. That's how I see PayPal. And then you can also, like, send money to, like, maybe friends of yours on PayPal as well. It's also a way for you to get some money. I'm currently doing, I'm getting back into, well, I can't say I'm getting back into singing, but I am going to be doing a, like, show, essentially, where, okay, this suddenly became a sponsor for the stream. Nah, if I had sponsorships for this channel, that would be awesome, but I'm not there. I'm not there. But yeah, I'm doing a, like, I think in October, I'm going to be doing a, I don't know, what do we even call this? A music showcase or a singing showcase, essentially. And so I'm basically, like, with the vocal coach I've been with for a long time. And, we're doing, like, Zoom calls, Zoom meetings and whatnot. And he is paying me to be in the show and paying me to do, rehearsals as well. And so he's paying me through PayPal. So PayPal, you could also kind of, like, send money to people through PayPal, and it just instantly goes into their, bank account, or it goes to their PayPal account, and they can take that money out of the bank, out of the PayPal, and it's going into their bank. It's a whole thing. So, yeah. Kawhi Live Antonio says, I hope you do well for Maggie's Market. I hope so too. We recently had a third episode from season 2 come out. I think it was about, like, 3 weeks ago, and it's a really, really good episode. My character goes through a lot of emotions. It's very interesting. I said this, like, when I was filming the 3rd season of Maggie's Market, but it's very interesting how this role has me just doing so many, like, it's such a dramatic role for me, in the sense of there's, like, so many emotions that I kind of go through. You know what I mean? I'm going through anger or jealousy, or I'm being very impatient or something, or I'm sad, or I'm happy, or I'm scared, all of these things. So it's been a lot for me in terms of acting, because usually I don't do roles like that. You know what I mean? Usually I'm, like, either very, like, comedic and whatnot. And while this role is fairly comedic as well, especially for the young kids, because I am kind of silly in it, but I'm also, like, doing a lot of, like, different emotional stuff, because I'm also a character that learns a lot of things too. So it's been very interesting, but I love playing that role. Maggie's Market is such an incredible show. And so, yeah, I'm sure we're going to be getting a season 4. So I can't wait to start filming that. That's going to be very, awesome. And I can't wait for season 3 to come out as well. That may not happen until the end of the year, probably. It takes, like, a long time to, like, edit these, because we actually only have, like, one editor doing the entire thing. He does all the green screen stuff and also just, like, editing everything together. So it's a fairly, like, small group, I would say. Yeah, it's a fairly small group, or a small crew in terms of, like, how we film stuff. But we're still filming in, like, a studio. We have, like, our green screen. We have, like, 4 top-notch cameras. We got one on a jib as well. And so it's pretty cool. So it's a pretty expensive production too. So it's but yeah, I'm definitely excited for Maggie's Market moving forward. Kawhi Life Antonio says, so Josh, thoughts on Invincible Fight Girl going to Adult Swim? You know, as of right now, all I know is that that's not fully confirmed. I have seen, like, some pretty damning evidence, or, like, you know, yeah, some damning evidence where it would definitely make it seem as though that's what's happening, but as far as I know, that hasn't exactly been, like, fully confirmed. And so unless I have like a full confirmation of that, like, I'm not gonna really say anything about it, or at the very least I'm not gonna make a video about it. The only thing I will say is that if Invincible Fight City is being moved to Adult Swim, I'm not gonna be happy about that at all. I'm just not, you know, like, I'm just not going to be happy about that. I will still see it if it definitely, you know, moves there. But at the same time, like, it's just, it would not be, me personally, I would not be happy about it. So, yeah. Virginia Lake says, Mr. Rogers would be very proud of your show. Teaching the littles is important. I think so. Like, we have some pretty good lessons in the show. And again, while the show is also, you know, faith-based as well, it's slightly faith-based. We do have like some Bible verses that we say in the show as well to kind of coincide with the lessons that we're trying to teach the kids. But also the show, you know, is flexible enough to where if another streaming service also wanted to start airing our show, we could take out like those Bible verses. Like, if, you know, because, you know, there's some shows where it's like, nah, we don't necessarily want to mention religion, or some streaming services is like, we don't really want to mention religion at all in you know, in any of the shows that we're broadcasting to our channel or broadcasting to our streaming. So we kind of basically have it there where if another streaming service or any other streaming services wanted to broadcast our show onto their platform, we could just take out those like religious moments, and it would still, like, the show would not really change all that much anyway. Like, it was kind of made in that way so where it could be like picked out for the other like streaming services, whereas the streaming service that we're on, Yippee TV, which is a mix of just safe, you know, like safe content, kid-friendly streaming and faith-based, we could keep the faith-based stuff on that, you know, on Yippee TV and, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, but you know, the lessons that we do learn, that we do teach to kids, especially with how the writing is and everything like that, is really good. So yeah, I think he would enjoy a show like this if he was around, or think that the show is, you know, really good in terms of like teaching kids about you know, certain lessons and whatnot. Because we also don't talk down to kids as well. You know, our director / showrunner / creator, I remember when like we mentioned Blippi, and he vehemently does not like Blippi. He's like, if there is one thing that this show isn't, it is not Blippi. We will never be Blippi. I hate it with a fiery passion. He does, you know, he really, really does not like Blippi at all. So he wants to stay away from that kind of show. He does not want this show or any of the shows that he creates for any platforms, whether it be for kids or whatever, to be that. And I can 100% understand. So yeah. Kawhi Live Antonio says Blippi is a part of Moonbug, so I can understand why. Yeah, so so you know, yeah, like Blippi, I've seen a couple of videos of Blippi, especially after, like, you know, he showed some disdain for it. It's like, no, we're not that, you know, just to see like what Blippi was about. And it's like, yeah, we're not that. We're definitely not that. I can understand how kids could get an enjoyment out of a show like that, but no, it's it's a rough sit through, you know what I mean? Because it's a grown man, you know, kind of acting like a toddler in some ways, and it is a little weird. Not saying anything about him or anything, even though I'm not going to get into the original creator and what kind of videos he made way back before that. So, yeah, but either way, it's, you know, it's a whole thing. But yeah, but we basically said, like he said, we're definitely not going to be that. We don't want to be the kind of show that talks down to children. And like you can kind of see it in our performances. We're not like doing any performances where it's kind of like over the top, or necessarily where it's like, oh my goodness, what happened there? No, that's very bad. Like we don't do any of that kind of acting in the show. You know what I mean? Which is good, because like when it comes to say scenes of me being like sad or very apologetic, like it's like genuine acting, not like, oh man, I didn't mean to do that, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? We don't do any of those things in the show. So yeah, so like, you know, so yeah, so that's honestly what I really like about the show, you know what I mean? Quiet Life Antonio says that dialogue is so cringy on Blippi. Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't even... Yeah, it is. It's weird. The same guy who played Blippi also made a really nasty video about him. Yeah. You can see the you can definitely see the comment. That's exactly what he did. So it was I was like, wow. Like, I was just shocked when I saw it. I'm like, okay, he did that. On the plus side, at least when it comes to me, you know what I mean? When it comes to like, being in a show like Maggie's Market, there'd be no way that you could find like any weird videos of me doing some weird adult stuff, or like, or not adult stuff, and definitely not in that sense, but like, you know, like just doing some weird crude humor. You know what I mean? Like, you couldn't find me doing any of that stuff. And then just going to doing kids shows and whatnot. It's kind of crazy, you know? But, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, for one, he's an adult, so adults can do weird stuff like that. But you do have to obviously have, like, a fairly clean image when you're doing content for children. And so, you definitely, you know, I mean, I don't even know if that video is even up on YouTube anymore. I think that video has long been taken down, but still, it's a whole thing. But yeah, Blippi is weird, you know, and it's definitely it's weird. But yeah, that's not what our show is. Randall says, still disappointed that Jessica was cut in half by the Z-Man company. Yeah, you know. They're gonna be airing, I think, like the last few episodes of the series, and then it's done. Yeah, it's honestly a shame that it's that they cut it in half before it even had a chance to possibly thrive, you know, because the show could have definitely have done well, and who knows? I think Jessica's little bit whatever. I get confused. Is it Jessica's Big Little World or Jessica's Little Big World? I forgot. But either way, like, it does suck that, you know, in the way that things have been going for that show, like it's been cut in half, you know, and they never necessarily gave it a chance to potentially be renewed for like a second season or anything. Because what if the show did do very well on Cartoonito? What little is left of Cartoonito, you know? And yeah, Jessica's Big Little World. That's what it is. I keep getting that mixed up for some reason. But you could have at least given it a chance to kind of thrive and see if it would have been like renewed for a second season, but they literally just cut it in half and said, nope, that's all we're doing, and we're moving on. So it really is sad to see that that's what essentially is what happened with the show. But you know, what again, and again, it's also why, like, when I see certain changes when it comes to like Warner Brothers Discovery, when it comes to Cartoon Network, and also the idea that that is a big possibility that Invincible Fight City would be moving to Adult Swim. Like, it's just it's very sad, because it just reminds me of what Cartoon Network was going to end up being under the not ownership, but under Tom Ashkeim's presidency. You know, that looked very promising. Like, Tom Ashkeim's Cartoon Network era looked like it was going to be a great one. It may have had like a little rough bumps and whatnot, maybe, but it looked like things were going to get back on track with Cartoon Network. Like, oh, we're going to have these kinds of shows here. Yeah, we're bringing Cartoon Nito as well, but we're also bringing Acme Nights. We're going to try to have this be a family channel instead of just a kids channel, right? And so I was excited for that. But with the things that's been going on with Cartoon Network recently, and also, again, the possibility that it could just end up, that this new show could just end up going to Adult Swim instead of Cartoon Network, it's just sad to see the state of Cartoon Network. I mean, look, new episodes of Craig of the Creek is coming back, which is great, and we also have Total Drama Island returning as well, which is also good. And then even in the Summer Camp Island is going to be airing their show again throughout. It's on the schedule throughout the summer as well, so which is also pretty good too. So it seems like there could be a couple of improvements when it comes to Cartoon Network, but still that pales in comparison to what Cartoon Network could have been had we not merged with Discovery and Tom Ashkeim was still the president of Cartoon Network at the time. You know what I mean? And also, another problem with it as well is that when you see Michael Owenlein saying, like, oh, hey, you know, we want Cartoon Network to be just a general animation channel, not a kids channel, I don't necessarily know if I can fully believe him right now, because I'm not seeing many steps to making that just a general animation channel. Especially considering if we're going to move another show from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim, then you're kind of just signifying that Cartoon Network is still just a kids channel, you know? And it's, you know, it's just not, I just don't like that direction, you know? Like, if we want to make it into a general animation channel, great, please do that, and please show us that that's what you want to do. But I'm just not seeing that with any action when it comes to Cartoon Network. So yeah, so that's kind of what I'm trying to say in that regard. I will say Cartoon Network's schedule has certainly improved over time, though, but it's still, like, I can tell you this straight up, I don't really watch Cartoon Network anymore. Like, I literally never really, like, click on Cartoon Network at all, you know? Even for, like, Checkered Past, I mean, we've seen all the episodes so far, so that's a whole other thing when it comes to that, too. But yeah, like, I have not watched Cartoon Network in a long time. I barely even watch Boomerang, but I've been watching Boomerang a whole lot more than Cartoon Network as well, you know? So I've just I kind of checked out on them, but, you know, so I could return to watching Cartoon Network at some point, but I don't know when that's going to happen. I would like to see some good change happen to where the channel just doesn't feel dead. You know what I mean? Because to me, it just feels so dead right now. Like, it's, you know, it's yeah. But also, speaking of Checkered Past, the thing that I want to mention quickly on, about Checkered Past, because I think I am going to make a video about it this week. That at least is going to be the plan. Is that the plan for that is going to be Monday through Thursday is going to be Checkered Past, But now Friday, and I think it starts, I would like to say it starts this week, or does it start next week? I don't fully remember. But either way, instead of Checkered Past having their Friday time slot, now from 5 to 6 on Fridays, you're going to have a Toonami Rewind. Exactly. Kawaii Life Antonio just said it literally right when I was about to mention it. But Toonami Rewind is going to start on Fridays. So, that's essentially what is happening right now, is that we are going to have a throwback Toonami block on Fridays, which is very interesting. That was kind of like announced out of nowhere. I don't think nobody saw this coming, and so that's going to be very interesting. I may or may not check. Well, I don't know if I'm really going to check that out. I'm not really into anime, to be honest, so I don't think that's really a block I will check out. Though I might the first time that they air it. Well, I don't know, because I usually I usually go to Disneyland on Fridays anyway, because they have the fireworks that happen on there as well, and you know, so that could probably change throughout the summer, though, because the summer they're going to be doing fireworks every day, weather permitting. So I'll probably be going less on Fridays during that time, but I probably still will most likely, like, you know, go in the afternoons, or not in the evenings, so I can, you know, like, check the fireworks and what have you. Which again, speaking of Disney, I have my vlog posted in the chat. It is currently pinned, so if you want to check that out, I would, you can definitely do that. But yeah, you can 100% check out the vlog, and also if you haven't subscribed to that channel, give it a subscription. Definitely trying to grow that channel, and I would really appreciate if you guys check that out. But yeah, somebody mentioned Me Too TV. Me Too. Wow, I completely messed that up. There you go. Skepta the Wolf. Have you ever heard about the new channel being launched in June? It's called Me TV Tunes. It's where they air reruns of all classic cartoons. Yes, I've heard of it. I could also make a video about that, maybe. Well, I don't know. Maybe it depends. I watched Me TV when, I haven't really been watching it a lot recently. My mom used to watch that so many times because she would watch a lot of her older shows, there. And so that would that used to often be, like, played a lot on TV downstairs, because she would love to watch, like, the shows she grew up watching when she was a kid. But I would be watching Me TV in the mornings, right? Because they would often have, it's kind of changed every now and then. There we go. Thank you very much, Virginia Lake. Thanks for the shout out. But they would air, like, I think they would air Woody Woodpecker, I believe, in the mornings. I think that's what they're doing now. They sometimes would air Tom and Jerry in the mornings. They would also air Looney Tunes as well in the morning. And I want to say they do Popeyes, but I think that's Boomerang. They also do the Flintstones sometimes as well, I think, on Me TV. But that's what I was basically watching in the mornings for a while, and so it kind of makes sense that they are gonna do another channel, and it's basically classic cartoons. So I'm really looking forward to that. Somebody, I think one of the people, I don't know if it was somebody that's working on Me TV Tunes, or somebody that broke the news about Me TV Tunes. I don't fully remember. Just very quickly, Randall, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop mentioning Elsa Gate, because you're kind of talking about it a little bit too much. I'm gonna have to ask you to stop, otherwise I will time you out. But yeah, when it comes to I remember, like, somebody mentioned that, oh, it was like 1992's Cartoon Network on steroids. That's what Me TV Tunes is going to be. Which is kind of a bold statement. It's like, wow, which is going to be very interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing MeTV Tunes. I hope MeTV Tunes is already included in the TV package that I have. I mean, I have a lot of channels already, but I'm hoping it's not like, hey, we got MeTV Tunes, but if you want to get it, you got to pay a little extra for it. I'm hoping it's not that sort of thing. So that's kind of what I'm essentially, you know, hoping for. But if not, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. So that's gonna be really cool. And some people were already like, oh, well, that's the end of Boomerang. I don't think it's the end of Boomerang. I doubt that Boomerang is gonna go away anytime soon, because Boomerang is still airing different kind of like cartoons on their channel right now. And we don't I don't know exactly every kind of show that is going to I don't know if I don't know every kind of show that is essentially what am I trying to say? Every type of show that's going to be airing on MeTV Tunes, but again, all I know is it's gonna have a lot of cartoons airing, and it's gonna be freaking awesome. I can't wait for that to premiere on television. So I'm looking forward to that. Script to the Wolf says it's not. It's gonna be a simple normal cable channel. Awesome, good. So I don't have to worry about that. Your mom says, so just wondering, have you ever thought about making a Discord server? I've never thought of it before. I'm not quite sure if that's something I'm gonna do. I'm not fully sure. I'm not really fully sure what I don't know. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't really use Discord all that much, to be honest, so I don't know if I would end up using but making a Discord server. And I'm not fully sure how I would go about doing that either, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say that I never will make a Discord server. It's just more so I don't know if I'm necessarily going to. I could think about it, but like I don't know if it's something that's gonna particularly happen. Aussie All says thoughts on Sony considering to buy Paramount. I don't know, to be honest. Like I'm surprised that Paramount is like hasn't been bought out by a company yet, because I know there's been a couple of companies or a couple of entities that was wanting to essentially buy Paramount, but nothing's really particularly like fallen through. So I'm kind of wondering what that's all about. But also I think the Sony acquisition probably, I don't know, I know that there was some issues that came along with that, or if it was Apollo or one of those, but I know there was an issue that came along with it, and I think part of it was like the idea of splitting up Paramount into like different sectors or something, or just splitting up the company. And I don't know if a lot of people were fans of that, or if Paramount themselves were fans of that idea, and so I think that's kind of on rocky waters. So I'm not really fully sure where things stand in terms of like Sony trying to buy Paramount or certain things like that, but it's gonna be interesting, I think. So yeah, who knows what could happen in that regard, but yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see what happens. Have you heard about the movie 200% Wolf? Because nobody talks about it. Which one? Because I think it's 100% Wolf, and then there's 200% Wolf. I don't know much about that. I've heard of it, but I really don't know much about that franchise whatsoever, so I can't really say much about that at all. I know a new one came out recently, but I never saw the trailer, so again, I honestly have like no comment. Okay. Hold on, just very quickly. Let's check something very quick. Actually, your mom thoughts about Velma somehow getting a second season. Velma was always planned on getting a second season, so it wasn't necessarily really reliant on whether people were watching it or not. It was already planned. Do they already have a plan for a third season if that's where we were to go with this? That part, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows if a third season is already planned, so I don't know. It sucks that it has a second season. It didn't deserve it. Although I will say, the only thing that I like about the second season, I didn't see it. I never watched the full first season. I only watched the first 5 minutes of the show, and I quit. I am not watching any minute of the second season. What I will say, okay, thank you, Gary. Thank you very much. I didn't even notice he posted another comment like that. I said no more mention of Elsa Gate, and he didn't stop, so. Hey, said it had to be timed out, so it is what it is. But you also said in the comments, you said, Gary there said, I tried watching 100% Wolf a few years ago, and I stopped it after 30 minutes. Damn. Why did you stop it after 30 minutes? Was it that bad? Was it cringy? Was the story just or were you like disappointed with the? I don't know. Just let me know. I'm not even sure if we really talked about this before. But yeah, season 2 with Velma, what I've seen clips and spoiler alerts, I guess. The only thing I like about season 2 is the fact that Velma is killed. That's it. I know how messed up that sounds, but Velma in this show is terrible. She is a horrible character. I mean, I think everybody in the chat knows this by now. She is a terrible character, okay? And so, literally, the only good parts of season 1 was when she was being tormented, or when she got hit or ran over by the police officer. That was the only enjoyable part of the entire show. And so seeing her getting killed in season 2 in the last episode, everybody was like, W Scrappy, because Scrappy killed her. He ended up dying anyway, but Scrappy killed her, and everybody was like, W Scrappy. We didn't like you before, but we like you now. So, yeah, that's the only good thing about season 2. But yeah, as your mom said, it did seem to end on a cliffhanger. So we don't know if a season 3 is planned. But you want to know what else ended on a cliffhanger? And actually, before I mention that, Gary the editor says, super generic. The way the story was going was just not for me, and I felt like I wasn't going to get anything out of it, which is disappointing because it's an animated movie about werewolves. You guys may or may not know this, but Gary the editor loves, and I mean loves, werewolves. He loves werewolves, so yeah. But yeah. Your mom says, but she's a ghost now, so just because she's dead doesn't mean that we're rid of her. Yeah, that's definitely possible. But I mean, you never know. But what I was gonna actually, just very quickly, Athena says, do you know Cartoonito USA only has 3 shows currently? Yes, and it's only running for an hour as well, which I still think is stupid, but I'm not gonna get into that. But yeah, they only have 3 shows airing right now, which is crazy, but it is what it is. I don't know where Cartoonito is headed from here. Again, I know there's a couple of shows that I know that there's a couple of shows that are gonna premiere there, like Barney's World. I know Barney's World is coming to Cartoonito. It's just, again, I'm not really. They said it was gonna come in the fall. It was announced by Mattel earlier this year, so yeah, who knows where they're gonna go when it comes to that. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah. But speaking of cliffhanger, another show that So yeah, while Velma is ending on a cliffhanger, with her being a ghost and whatnot, the thing is we just don't know if it already was approved for a third season. And if it hasn't been approved for a third season, we don't know if it's going to be renewed for a third season. That's another thing to mention here. But, and speaking of, oh man, what am I trying to say? Cliffhangers. There's a show that recently also ended right now on a cliffhanger, and we don't know if it's going to get a season 2 at all. But Haley's on it. I don't know if I've ever really talked about Haley's on it on this this channel before, but Haley's on it had their last episode of season 1 yesterday, and it ended on a cliffhanger. And I hope it gets a season 2, mainly because I really want to see where they go with this when it comes to season 2 and the continuation of this story. But if it ends that way, it really sucks, because it kind of ends on somewhat of a sour note for me, mainly because of, I guess, like, how Haley Banks was at the end of the episode. And I gotta be honest, I wasn't exactly a big fan of that. You know what I mean? Like, if you guys haven't seen if you guys haven't seen the series, and if you haven't seen the season finale or potentially series finale to Haley's on it, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. But it's just like with the way that Haley herself kind of, I guess, like, conducted herself in the last episode, at least, like, in the last, like, say, maybe 5 minutes, I have to say, not really a big fan, especially considering that it could really potentially, like, mess up certain things in the future, which is kind of the reason why, you know, she has to complete a certain list and whatnot. But she knows this. She knows, oh, I got to complete this list that I made, so whatever happens in the future doesn't happen. But now, you know, it's like, I'm not really a fan of how things are and how things really ended there. And so it's, I don't know, you know, like, it's not really sitting well with me. That's the most that I can particularly say when it comes to that. But I hope that we could potentially see a second season when it comes to that show, but it's, again, mainly because I want to see where they go from here. Because, I mean, I made a video about this, you know, when it comes to, like, cliffhangers and whatnot. So I already know when it comes to how cliffhangers can be, like, very controversial and whatnot, especially when there's not, like, really a confirmation that you're going to have a second season or a third season, or, like, depending on where the cliffhanger ends, do we have another season after that? You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it kind of, like, really sucks that it just happens that way, where, you know, and the thing is, I want to mention this. I don't really remember if, I don't remember if it was mentioned in my video that I talked about when it came to cliffhangers, but cliffhangers, I think, are usually something that the executives probably ask of the writers and creators of the show to end this season on a cliffhanger. I think that's usually probably how it goes. Maybe, I'm not quite sure, to be honest, but but that's unfortunately kind of just what happens, I think, you know. Like, sometimes they kind of like say Gumball, for example, which Kawaii Life Antonio just mentioned, says I can see season 7 of Gumball being a continuation from the Inquisition. Right. So Gumball, the creator of Gumball, Ben, he mentioned before that it was the executives at Cartoon Network that wanted him to end this series on a cliffhanger. And so, obviously, as we saw later on when that happened, that we essentially would get a movie from Gumball, which unfortunately, we don't really know the whereabouts of the Amazing World of Gumball movie. We don't know if the movie is even happening anymore. We know that we're getting a season 7, which is great, even though season 7, I know originally was supposed to be like a spin-off series. I think it was supposed to be a different series that was at least different from the original Amazing World of Gumball. But now it's a season 7, and so I know that when it comes to season 7, it's definitely, especially if the movie is not gonna happen anymore, I'm pretty sure that season 7 is definitely gonna be a continuation to what happened at the end of the Inquisition, because they can't end it like that, you know, where Rob literally is falling into the void as he was trying to warn people that something was going on in the world of Elmore. Like, it has to, you know what I mean? Like, they have to continue that story. I really want to know where they go with this. So it has to be a continuation. There's no other way around it. You know what I mean? Like, it just literally has to be. But yeah, it's gonna be very like interesting to see where things go in terms of Amazing World of Gumball. I would have to assume that Amazing World of Gumball season 7 could premiere sometime next year. That would be my guess. I'm not quite sure. But we'll see. They are gonna have a panel, I think, talking about like, the making of Amazing World of Gumball at the Annecy, I think that's how you say it, the Annecy Festival, later on in June. And so I'm really hoping for some very exciting news to come out of that festival this year. In terms of, that was a voice crack. But I'm very excited to see the kind of news that we can get out of the festival this year. Whether it be for NEC, I don't know how you say it, but when it comes to maybe Disney news or Nickelodeon news or Cartoon Network news, you know, even though Cartoon Network, it's mainly going to be about the stuff that we know, that they kind of announced it already, but it's going to be very interesting to see what they say. Hopefully it could also mean that we could get some sort of quick sneak peek at the Amazing World of Gumball season 7, or potentially the movie. Can we get a mention of the movie at all? That's, I don't know. We're gonna have to just wait and see what happens. So, yeah, that's gonna be fairly exciting. So I'm really excited for the Amazing World of Gumball to return, but I hope it is a movie that comes with it. But if not, I'm hoping season 7 just gives us all the gives us all of the answers. Aussie All says thoughts on Disney Channel now surpassing Nickelodeon as the most watched kids channel of all time. Honestly, I congratulate them for it. Like, I mean, Disney Channel has seriously just really been doing really well when it comes to their content. They have a lot of shows, a lot of animated shows that might I add, that have been really good. Moon Girl, Big City Greens, which is also going to be getting a movie next month. You have Hamster and Gretel. You have what else do you have there? Oh, also Haley's on it. I was just talking about Haley's on it. What else do you currently have on Unfortunately, they also have Miraculous Ladybug. You guys know how I feel about Miraculous Ladybug. I cannot stand that show. Ooh. They're gonna have, yeah, that's right. They are gonna have Primos coming very soon as well. They do have Bluey. Oh, the Ghost of Molly. Well, the Ghost of Molly McGee is done. That show's done now. So technically, I don't think they air the Ghost of Molly McGee anymore. So I think that's done. Like, just in general. And they do have Kif. Yes. So, yeah. So they have like a lot of shows right now. Most of it is animated. A lot of the live action shows that they have are definitely gone. I don't think they really air any of those anymore. At least not from what I've been seeing recently. Somebody mentioned it earlier in the stream, but they're gonna, Raven's Home is ending, but they are going to have a spin-off series based off of Alice, I think. I think that's the little girl that's in the little girl that's in the show. So she's apparently going to have a spin-off. She's going to be in London, supposedly. So that's going to be very interesting. But but yeah, I mean, again, Cartoon Network for right now just doesn't really have a lot to offer, especially since their premieres have been lackluster. Oh yeah, Bunked is, yes, that's right, Bunked is coming to an end. I totally forgot about that. Thank God it's coming to an end. But yeah, continuing, what was it though? So, yeah, like Cartoon Network just doesn't really have a lot to offer. Their premieres have been very slow. They either like just premiere one show throughout 1 month, and then that's kind of it. And sometimes we don't get any premieres throughout any months, you know? So Cartoon Network is literally, I've said this so many times on this channel, but Cartoon Network literally gives you barely any reason to tune into their channel whatsoever. It's almost dead, you know? That's why I just don't really talk about them that much anymore. And that's also why I don't really watch them anymore either. There's barely any reason to really watch Cartoon Network. And then you also have Nickelodeon, which, while Nickelodeon does have some shows that are airing new episodes and what have you, they have a lot of SpongeBob. And so SpongeBob is definitely a big factor as to why Nickelodeon is still, you know, having good numbers. But SpongeBob airs over and over again, and so it probably gets a little tiring, a little bit for some people to watch, you know, especially since episodes can tend to air over and over again. Well, not as bad as Amazing What a Gumball. Amazing What a Gumball would air episodes over and over and over again when they would air when they would air it that much. You know what I mean? So it would be a whole thing. But you know, Nickelodeon at the very least still has things to offer, but Disney has a whole lot more to offer, so it doesn't surprise me in the slightest that Disney Channel is airing a whole lot more on excuse me. It doesn't surprise me that they're getting a whole lot more viewers and is now becoming the #1 as well. It literally doesn't shock me at all. DDog1 013232 says Teen Nick's scheduling is a nightmare. Well, here's a reason why that is. They're no longer really airing the Dan Snyder shows anymore. Notice that Henry Danger is no longer airing anymore, and now they're kind of just becoming another Nicktoons essentially. So, like, I mean, they're kind of, it seems like they're really trying to distance themselves from Dan Schneider, and so they're just not airing any of those shows anymore. iCarly's no longer airing. Again, Henry Danger is no longer airing, which kind of makes me wonder, because I know that Henry Danger is getting a movie. Are they even going to continue going forward with that particular film? I don't know. You know, so they may very well cancel that particular movie, because again, they're trying to. It seems like they're trying to really distance themselves away from anything Dan Schneider. So, yeah, that's, at least to me, that's what it seems like. So, but that's kind of why things have gone so downhill for Teen Nick, which kind of also makes me wonder if Teen Nick is even going to like exist anymore. Are they going to like really try to switch things up for Teen Nick, or is it just gonna be Nicktoons 2.0 at this point, or just a second Nicktoons? And is it still gonna be around? They could very well just decide to get rid of it if there's barely any reason to keep it, you know? So, yeah. I am gonna be right back very quickly. I'm gonna refill my water bottle, because I need a whole lot more water than this. And I'm probably also going to end up ending the stream maybe in the next 30 minutes or so, because I didn't eat any lunch, so I am getting a little hungry. So I would like to eat something very soon. So yeah, I probably will end it very soon. But again, I'm probably going to give it another 30 minutes, but I'll be right back. Just going to fill up the water bottle. So stay tuned. All right, we back. We be back. All right. Okay, let's continue on with. Let me bring back chat again. Okay. Okay. You heard of Toonami airing a block starting Friday? Yeah, we did talk about that. And again, I'm most likely gonna do a video on it sometime this week to talk about it. That may be a video I do. I'm not actually fully sure if that's exactly what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna be we'll see. Quiet Life Antonio to say, Josh, how was Mother's Day? It was good. It was good. I went out with some family and friends, and we, you know, hung out with each other, and we had dinner together. So it was pretty good. How was your Mother's Day? Hopefully it was good for you too. Your mom says, what is your one animated movie or series that is so bad that you can't even describe it? Not even for a video. Velma. Actually, another one. Let's not even use Velma as an example. Let's use another example. My Mother's Day was pretty cool. Good. I'm glad that you had a good Mother's Day. But let's use another show. Netflix's Good Times. For one, I didn't watch the show. There was absolutely no way in hell I was ever gonna watch that crap. Absolutely not. But I watched someone's review of the show. They kind of added in a couple of clips. Like they did like a review of each episode from the show. And they, you know, like they kind of basically described. I didn't see all of his videos, but I saw quite a bit of his videos talking about the show. And it's horrible. It is terrible. The animation is very bad. The characters look hideous. Looks incredibly hideous. Yeah, that show is freaking awful. It's awful. I don't know what else I need to say. It's terrible. I don't know how anybody came out with this particular show and said, hey, this is a good idea to come out with in 2024. No, it is one of the worst shows I think I've seen. Like, I mean, again, I haven't seen the episode, but I've seen the trailer. I've seen some people reviewing of it, and it's terrible. The fact that some people rolled off on this and said, yeah, this is good. And, you know, it made me look up clips of the original Good Times show, right? The original Good Times show is good. It's incredible. I haven't seen, like, full episodes of it, though, but the clips I've seen of the show, absolutely great. I may want to think about actually watching full episodes of that show, though. But the fact that they decided to reboot Good Times as an animated show, and this is what they came out with. It's like, it is honestly a slap in the face and kind of an insult to call this Good Times, or to say this has any connection with the original Good Times show. It literally freaking doesn't. It really does not. It is absolutely terrible. Whew. I don't even know if I want to go into it, okay? Again, I have not seen an episode of the series. You could not pay me a dime to watch that. You couldn't. Like, watching the clips that I've seen when I was watching these people's, like, reviews of the show, no. A lot of times when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm kind of just thinking in my head, how the hell is any of this supposed to be funny? Like, how do you consider this to be comedy? It's honestly crazy to me that you have a lot of adult cartoons out there, and somehow they just really miss the mark when it comes to comedy. Or a lot of times they just tend to try way too hard to be funny. So much so that they try to be incredibly edgy for it being funny. And it doesn't work. A show like South Park works. I don't know how they're able to get it down almost perfectly all the time. But South Park's brand of humor is perfect. They don't get it. Okay, they don't get it right all the time. There's a couple of seasons where their humor is kind of hit and miss, I'll be honest. Or their episodes in general may be a little hit and miss when it comes to, like, say, the later seasons. But when it comes to their shock humor or just humor in general, it's just... it's unmatched, I would have to say. And I think a lot of shows try to match those type. They try to be like South Park, I think, in some ways. But they just can't do it. You know what I mean? For whatever reason, they literally just no. And yeah, it's just terrible. I really do not like generic adult animated shows, but making it an insult to the source material is even worse. 100%, like, facts, bro. Absolutely. And then I hate those that claim that shock humor is comedy. I mean, it can be, but at the same time, it's like, it has to be more than just that. And again, it has to actually be funny. South Park is able to do it. Other shows just cannot. I mean, Trey and Matt are comedic geniuses. They know how to make South Park humor perfectly. They literally do, 100%. I like kid shows more than adult shows. Yeah, same for me, specifically with, like, animated shows. Like, I think animated shows manage to, for kids, usually tend to be animated better than what you find in a lot of these adult animated shows. And in a weird way, they tend to have better storylines and also tend to be more funny. They tend to be definitely more comedic than some of the, because they don't necessarily try so hard. And I'm not saying that there's shows out there that don't do that, because if you see it on my channel, there's been certain shows that have come out on, like, Nickelodeon or Disney or Cartoon Network where these shows are just terrible. Animation is very bad, and the characters may be annoying as hell, or it's just not funny. It's cringe humor. So that exists. But when you have good animated shows that are on Disney or Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network, they are good. Good animation, good characters, good storylines, good comedy, good humor and everything. You know what I mean? I just find that they tend to do it a little bit better than what you see with a lot of these adult cartoons. And yes, there are adult cartoons that do a really good job as well, but sometimes they feel to be far in between. You know what I mean? And it's just, it's a shame. And it's weird. You'd think that adult humor or adult shows would be more mature with their humor, but I guess mature to some of these creators is making boob jokes or constantly making sex jokes and cussing every 20 seconds. Like, I'll have to say, It Has Been Hotel, for example. Or is it Has Been Hotel that's the series on Amazon Prime, or is it the other one that vaguely looks the same, but it's, I don't know. I don't care about any of those, to be honest. But that show apparently has these characters saying the F word almost constantly, and it's like, that's not funny. Or they just say the most out-of-pocket, like, stuff out there, and it's like, hell of a... Yeah, is it Hell of a Boss that's on Amazon Prime? Or is it Has Been Hotel? Which one is made into a legitimate animated series? I'm not sure. To be honest, to me, they both look the same. They both look the same to me. Like, what is even the difference? I don't even know. But yeah, they're just like, I don't know. Like, to me, it's just not funny. It's just not funny. Like, it's like, yeah, you know, in South Park they cuss a lot too, but when they tend to cuss, it's funny. There's at least some sort of meaning to it sometimes or whatever. But yeah, it's just it's, I don't know. Like, I'm just not a fan of that. Hey, I like Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss. I kind of like those two. They pay respects to indie animation. I mean, if it's indie animation, like, that's great. Like, you know, it's good. But, you know, like, but it's just like when I look at that style of, not style of animation, when I look at that style of comedy where you just have the characters just, oh, we're gonna yell out some crazy edgy stuff, and we're just gonna have them cussing every 5 seconds. It's like, I just can't get into that. There is nothing funny about that. That's just me personally. But yeah, but I'm of course I'm all for indie animation. We're getting a lot more indie animation, especially because, you know, these corporations or these executives at like the very top of these movie studios or entertainment studios and whatnot, they're not treating animation very well. And, you know, it's just, I want to definitely support way more indie projects. A good example, honestly, of an indie project is most YouTubers are so annoying when they cuss every 5 seconds and make unfunny jokes all the time. I haven't seen any of those because those are definitely not the kind of YouTubers that I watch. But it wouldn't surprise me if there were some that just, you know, are that annoying. It wouldn't shock me at all. But yeah, there's an indie project. It's actually an indie video game, and it just came out yesterday. In fact, actually, and some of you guys may know what I'm talking about. It wouldn't shock me. Indie animation has been skyrocketing. Yeah, I hope it continues. And also, I think indie games have been skyrocketing as well. But I just want to double check because they have a Kickstarter for a chapter 2 that they want to make. How much did they? How much? Yo, they reached their goal! They overreached their goal. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew. Oh my god. I am so happy. Oh, yes. Okay. Okay. All right. That's awesome. Okay, so there is this game. So first of all, let me mention this very quick. So I do happen to watch Twitch, and I'm watching this Twitch streamer by the name of Corgi Cam. And he's technically a furry. He has like a corgi avatar, very adorable, but he is freaking hilarious. It's funny. But he played this game yesterday called Indigo Park, right? It's a new mascot horror game, and it's made by an indie developer, right? And they just released chapter 1 yesterday, and they also released the Kickstarter for it yesterday. And the Kickstarter has been going up very, very fast. And I think yesterday, within 17 hours, they made like $30,000. They raised $30,000. And right now, and their pledged goal is $50,000. Right now, and it just went, oh my god, it just went up to $55,000. So they've made over their pledged goal, and they have like 28 more days of this goal. So I don't know how much money they're gonna make at the end of 28 days right now. I think the project is gonna be fully funded, or the goal is gonna be done by June 17th. So I don't know how much money they're gonna make at this point, but they literally, the pledge goal was at $50,000, and now it's at $55,000. That is how much people love this game. Again, the game just came out yesterday, chapter 1, and so now chapter 2 is gonna happen. I am so happy because I want to see a continuation of this game. And if it continue, and I honestly want to, I also want to back them as well. I probably will at some point, but dude, I am so freaking happy. Virginia Lake says your happiness is contagious. I mean, I literally didn't expect to get this hype on this stream, but yeah, I am so happy for them because I watched the entire, like gameplay on the stream that I was watching, and I'm not a gamer, right? I don't play video games. I could play video games. I just don't really have any of the consoles to play video games on, and also the computer that I have is not really suitable for a majority of games. So it's not a bad computer, but like it's not really suitable for a lot of games in terms of like the RAM space and graphics card that they ask for. It's not really compatible for that. Excuse me. Whew, excuse me. But when I was watching the game the entire time, like I was just enthralled by it, literally. The main character that you're following through is kind of like this AI. It's not an actual AI, but in the game, it's kind of like this AI mascot character. And he is just filled with so much charm, also sass, and he's very adorable too. And so you're kind of following him throughout this park, essentially, which Indigo Park is basically this creator's like, or let's put it this way. This creator has a lot of inspiration from Disneyland. I saw that from the get-go. You have like a biggest example of that is basically the character, technically. Also, you have like this statue in the middle of the park where it's kind of like a Walt Disney-esque creator, and you have like the character, the mascot of the park, kind of like in the sense of like kind of like the Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse statue that you see at Disneyland. They have almost an exact same statue, just with the parks creator in Indigo Park and the Rambly Raccoon, that's the name of the mascot, basically kind of almost doing the same pose. It is so cool, but it's it is literally like that game is freaking awesome. And ever since I saw the entire gameplay of chapter 1, I've been wanting to see even more. I want to see where they go with this. I want to see more of that character as well. And so I'm so happy to see that literally within a day, less than 2 days, they made their goal, and they're still growing. They're still growing. It's freaking awesome. $55,000. So I'm happy. So I'm very happy to see them basically just reach their goal, and they're just skyrocketing right now. It's awesome. So if you guys have not your mom says, for real, I don't think I've ever seen you this happy before. yeah, I'm hyped. So if anything, and also might I add, this is a free game that you can get on Steam as well. So if you guys want to play it, you can 100% just go on Steam and play it for free. It's an amazing game. Like, yeah, you 100% just it's definitely a game that I think you guys should check out. If you're into horror games, I would definitely check it out. And if you're also into the mascot horror games as well, then 100% check it out. Or even if you don't want to play the game, just look up Indigo Park on YouTube and find some sort of gameplay. Just watch it and consider backing, even though they reached their $50,000 goal, still consider backing them, because if they're reaching even more money, or if they're raising even more money from that, and they're still like, again, a month away from being fully finished, you literally, like, I'm not even kidding, you have to check it out. But definitely back them. Like, back them. It's so nice to see someone so happy for someone else. Yeah, I mean, you know, like, it's better to be happy for other people's successes than it is to be envious of them. You know what I mean? Like, I have a lot of actor friends as well, and there's people, like, a lot of actor friends that I definitely worked with at some point in time. And I'm seeing, like, how well they're doing. They're either directing their own show, or they're creating their own short film, or they're either creating their own short film, or they're they're in their own short film probably or something, or they've gone off to do a television show or something. Like, it makes me so happy to see how successful they are, and it just also just makes me a little hopeful that I will see them in their shoes very soon too. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just like, it's just way better, you know. Excuse me. It's just way better to you know, essentially be happy, I guess, to hold on a second. Yeah, it's just very happy, you know, just it's better to be happy about somebody else's successes, you know what I mean, sometimes. So yeah, but again, it's very, like, I'm very, very happy that they've reached their goal, and Lord knows how much more money they're going to raise from this. Especially if it means that we're gonna even, like, we're gonna get a second chapter, but if it also means we're gonna get a third chapter from this current fundraising campaign, or even a fourth, that would be awesome. So yeah. So again, Indigo Park, all right, Indigo Park, you guys have to check out this game, whether it is you play it or you just watch somebody playing it on Twitch or playing it on YouTube. Have to check it out. You just have to. It's a really good game. It's a very charming game as well. So yeah, it's great. But yeah, but also, you know, it is an indie developer as well, and so I think this is definitely something that, you know, a lot of us should 100% like support. We gotta support, like, indie developers, you know, unless they're they're the creators of Garden of Banban. If you guys know about the game Garden of Banban, that freaking game, my god. Look, they know what they're doing because they bring a lot of people into, like, or they make the game so much so where people are going to continue to, like, they're going to continue bringing people in to, like, play the game, because the game is terrible, but a lot of people, of course, want to continue knowing, like, what happens next. But regardless, like, don't support those guys. Play the free games that they have. I think there's, like, the first 2 games or whatever that's free, but the other ones you got to pay like $10, and so it's like, don't do it. Don't do it at all. But regardless, indie animation and indie developers for, like, video games, especially after, because I think it was like sometime last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, there was, like, a lot of, like, gaming studios, or, like, yeah, studios where they make video games that was shut down, I think, by, like, Microsoft and Xbox or something. And I guess the gaming industry as of right now is going through, like, a rough time, and so I think we definitely, like, right now, I think what we're seeing is just, like, a resurgence. Well, not a resurgence, I don't think that's really a good term to use, but, like, it's just kind of good right now to see indie animation starting to take off, and I guess gaming, indie games to also take off as well, because obviously there's a lot of, like, games that are on Steam as well that are also made by indie gamers. And the streamer that I watch on TikTok, I mean, not on TikTok, I don't have a TikTok, and I definitely ain't watching any streamers on TikTok. But what was I gonna say? The streamer that I watch on Twitch, again, Corgi Cam, a very fun streamer. When I watch his stream on Twitch, he tends to play, like, a lot of, like, indie developed gamers. I mean, what am I saying? He tends to play a lot of indie developed games. That's what I meant to say. He plays a lot of those, and they tend to be, like, spooky games and whatnot, like horror games and stuff. And he tends to play a lot of them. And there's some of these games where it's literally just one person working on these games, and it's like, how do you even do that? Like, it's crazy that one person can create a really engaging game. It's awesome. So I think, like, you know, like, it's cool to see, you know, the support for like indie games or indie movies or indie animation and whatnot, like, really starting to pick up. Like, especially since, again, a lot of these like companies nowadays are not really treating a bunch of films or games or animation really well right now, you know? And so it's it's good to see like indie stuff really, like, you know, really doing well. So your mom says you made it sound like you watch as other people play games. Yeah, nah, I meant to say indie developed games, not indie developed gamer, not indie gamers. That's not what I meant to say. But yeah, he plays a lot of games on Twitch. So so that's why, like, it, and it's a lot of fun watching his streams. Yeah. Disney buying anime. I definitely don't know about any of this. Disney getting into anime. I have no idea. I don't think I even heard of that. So this is like the first time of me knowing whatsoever. I mean, I guess it makes sense that Disney is going to want to try to get into the anime game now because anime is really big and popular. So I guess it really shouldn't shock me whatsoever. So, yeah. Further thoughts on Bunked ending? Thank God. Like, I don't know why that show survived 7 seasons. Is it 7 seasons, I think? Is it 6 or 7? I don't know. But why it lasted this long? No idea. That franchise needs to be buried. It needs to end. It did not deserve to be on for that long. It's not good. What anime do you watch? I don't really watch any anime. Like, there's none that I'm watching at all right now. So, I don't necessarily, excuse me. I don't really, I used to watch anime when I was in, like, high school. Or barely. Like, I did go to anime clubs in high school, but I wasn't always, like, a vivid anime watcher. Though, back then, it was easier for me to, like, try to check out, you know, some anime series, at least short ones, not ones that have like 500 freaking episodes. Like, if it was like a show that had like maybe a season or 2 or whatever, and if it was a concept that interests me, then I'm most likely I would have checked it out and like watched the entire thing. But now I'm not really into anime anymore, you know, so I haven't really watched any. There's probably some that I can still get into now, but it just hasn't really been my thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. Let's see. People talking about Bent Key. Yeah, and Chip Chillas. I never really talked about Chip Chillas on this channel. All I can say is Chip Chillas is a ripoff of Bluey. They can try to make it seem, they could try to say, no, we're not a ripoff of Bluey. No, it is. It is. I don't want to hear it. You guys are literally a ripoff of Bluey, and a worse ripoff at that, obviously. So it's like, don't even. Yeah. Let's see, is there anything else? I hope the Big City Greens movie ends well. Yeah, I hope so too. It's an interesting concept because they're gonna be in space, so I'm really curious as to how they ended up in space. I wonder if is his name Chip in Big City Greens? No, is it? Is it Chip or is it something else? The guy who has a rivalry with the Greens family? I don't remember, but either way, I wonder if he's behind this, sending the Greens to space. I have no idea. It's gonna be interesting to see that movie. Again, it comes out next month, so I'm looking forward to it. I really do like Big City Greens, so it wouldn't shock me whatsoever if it happens to be a really good movie. It wouldn't shock me at all. Chip Whistler, I doubt it. It's actually Zap. Who's Zap? I should know Zap, but I don't really know all of the characters in Big City Greens. Oh wait. I may know who Zap is. I may know the character on which. Yeah, I might know which one that is. Let me take a quick look. Gwendolyn. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that being her. Did I even see like the full trailer? I saw a teaser for the movie, but I'm not sure if I've seen the full trailer for Big City Greens movie. So I probably missed that if that was even in there. But yeah, it probably it wouldn't shock me if it was that. Yeah. I think that might be about it for this stream, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet Live Antonio says, I hope so too with the changes of Primos. Oh, with people giving it a... Yeah, I didn't have an issue with Primos. I think a lot of people just had an issue with it because of the intro, I think. I think the theme song rubbed people the wrong way. I forgot really what was the controversy really was when it came to Primos, but I don't, yeah, when it came to Primos, when I saw the trailer that they had that they came out with when it came to the Annecy Festival, I found no issues with it, honestly. But it was kind of shocking that I don't know. I don't necessarily remember why there was much backlash when it came to Primos, but yeah, I am hoping that the show is I hope the show is well, and I do also hope that people kind of give the show a chance as well, especially if it's a good one. If it's a good show, I hope people at least give it a chance and not continue to shun it. If anything. Virginia says Disney is partnering up with Kodensha. I'm bad at pronouncing a lot of names. The anime will stream on Disney Plus. This was a few months ago. I'm shocked that I'm just learning about this. I literally don't remember hearing about Disney partnering with anyone to do anime and bringing it to Disney Plus. I literally had no idea whatsoever that that's what they were gonna do. But again, does that shock me in the slightest? No, because again, anime is very big, so it wouldn't shock me that Disney would want a piece of that. I don't know what kind of anime that we would end up seeing from Disney. It would be very interesting. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to be family friendly, even though they do have a TV 14 ratings type of they do have some mature content there as well, so it's certainly gonna be interesting to see. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they end up doing in that regard, but yeah. So who knows how that's going to turn out. But I mean, at the end of the day, it could very well end up being a good business move for them, because again, a lot of people like anime, and if the anime that they happen to air on Disney Plus happens to be a really good one, they made a really good business move. You never know. speaking of which, thoughts on the Disney Plus and Hulu merger? Well, you're also forgetting Disney Plus, Hulu, and Max. Don't forget, Max is also going to be merging, or well, not merging, but okay, maybe you meant something else, I think. But Hulu, Disney Plus, and Max are going to be doing a bundle, which was a very, like, that was a huge surprise to me. And then, not only that, on the flip side, you also have, I think, Peacock, Netflix, and Apple, I think, that are also going to be bundling together on in their own, like, streaming bundling war or something. Which is weird, right? We're literally just going back to cable at this point, you know? So it's very interesting that now these streaming companies are wanting to bundle together, wanting to come together to do some sort of a bundle deal. So, which again, we had streaming. I mean, we had streaming. Obviously, we still have streaming, but we had cable. We still have cable, but it's interesting that we're kind of just going back to cable, essentially, you know? But that just tells you that the streaming bubble is starting, it's really beginning to burst a lot right now, because I think, me personally, I never really liked the idea of having all of these different streaming services because, you know, first of all, it all adds up. You have one streaming service, oh, it's only $15 a month. But then you have another one. That one might also be $15 a month. That's already $30 a month. And then, oh, you want to have another one to watch this kind of show, or you want to have another one to watch that kind of movie, or this or that, yada, yada, yada. When all of these things become exclusive on these streaming services, and there's all of these shows you want to watch, you have no choice but to have all of these streaming services. So you're already spending a lot of money anyway just to have all these subscriptions, you know? So it's kind of like, you know, which is kind of why, like, it's kind of weird that this is just what we ended up doing. But, you know, they saw how successful Netflix was, and that's why they essentially said, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and have all of our shows be on our own streaming service, so we can also get a little bit of that money too. But now we realize that the streaming services have been losing a lot of these companies money, except for Netflix. It took Netflix a long time for them to become profitable. Now they are profitable, right? But they were trying to follow Netflix profit, and they couldn't do it. And so now they're cutting back on the amount of content, or the amount of spending they have on their content. Like, Disney really cut back on the amount of content that they're making for Disney Plus. And now they're merging, you know? And not only that, you can even see it with, like, some of the shows they came out with. For example, Monsters at Work. Monsters at Work originally premiered first on Disney Plus, and then season 2 first premiered on Disney Channel, and then they premiered it on Disney Plus. And I think the same thing technically happened with Moon Girl. I think Moon Girl had their first season premiere first, or like certain episodes like premiered first on Disney Plus, and then when it came to, no, actually no, I think Moon Girl still had season 2 premiering first on Disney Plus, and then they did Disney Channel, or did they? I think so. I can't say I fully remember. But a bigger example of this is the Moana series. Remember, we were supposed to get a Moana series that was going to be exclusive on Disney Plus. Now they're taking that and they're basically compiling that series, or reworking that series. Instead of it being a show on Disney Plus, they're now making it into a theatrical release. So they're completely changing everything, and it's no longer a series anymore. And so I wonder if they're going to be doing the same thing with the Tiana series, right? Because we were also going to get a Tiana series on Disney Plus as well. I think that was also announced alongside Zootopia Plus, the Big Hero 6, or the Baymax series. I think it was called Baymax. Monsters at Work, and Moana. I think it was announced alongside those shows. And we haven't heard a thing about Tiana. I don't know if we're gonna get a Tiana series at all, or if that project is still happening. But But I can definitely guarantee you that if we are going to get any updates with Tiana, it would not shock me if it goes the way of Moana 2. If with Moana the series being turned into Moana 2, wouldn't shock me if Tiana the series was to be turned into a movie to be also released into theaters. Also to kind of coincide with their opening of their new ride, Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Walt Disney World and at Disneyland later on this year. It wouldn't shock me if that were to happen as well. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's what happens with Tiana. I don't know. In fact, I think Tiana was supposed to come out around the time the ride was going to open, because I think Tiana and that ride was supposed to have like some sort of connection story-wise. So it's interesting that we're just, you know, not seeing anything from the Tiana series as well. So who knows? It could still happen. And again, it's probably going to end up being turned into a movie. Who knows? Your mom says, so it basically means that Moana 2 is going to be Belle's Magical World, Tarzan and Jane, and Milo's Return, but in theaters. I don't know, because they're obviously, I don't know if that's necessarily what it's going to be. It wouldn't shock me if like they ended up maybe updating the animation for Moana 2. I mean, because it was going to be a series, and let's be serious, the series that they put on Disney Plus that was kind of like based off of the movies that they have look fairly close to the animation that you see in the movies. Not 100%. You could tell that the budget was a little lower for these shows, but it wasn't necessarily like, it wasn't DreamWorks where, say, you see the Puss in Boots series, right? That was definitely downgraded animation. Or what's another one? The Penguins of Madagascar show. That was downgraded animation. Also Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness, that was downgraded animation. You could tell those animation styles were definitely different from the movie. Whereas, you know, with the Moana series, I'm pretty sure it would have been fairly close to what the movie's quality was. Not 100%, but fairly close, right? It wouldn't have shocked me at all. So, if anything, I think it would have, if anything, I think, they're probably, with this, they're probably going to be updating the animation. I think that's probably what they're going to do, but also it wouldn't shock me if they were also like rewriting a little bit of the script. So the stories that they would have been following within each episode could have been more like cohesive together, where you can tell that it's not, oh, we just finished this episode and now it's moving on to this episode. And it's just, you know, like the script probably had to have been updated just a little bit. And who knows, they probably added a couple of new scenes in the movie to make it a bit more cohesive, right? So who knows? We'll have to see when it comes to that. I'm not gonna watch it. I don't really care for Moana, to be honest. But it wouldn't shock me if that's what they were gonna end up doing, or if that's what they're currently doing, because they ever since they announced it, it's not coming out until November 8th. So they're actively working on it right now. So I don't think it's gonna be a situation where it's like, oh, it's one of those series that we saw back in the 90s and it's just put in the movie. So I'm not quite sure if that's necessarily what Moana 2 is going to be. We'll see, but who knows? Skepta the Wolf says, Tiana's Bayou Adventure still looks like a fun ride. I might check it out when it opens at Disneyland. I don't do log flume rides, so I'm not going to get on that ride, at least for the time being. I may get to that point where I'm like, okay, now, you know what? Log flumes are not that bad. I'm just personally not a fan of those. Not because you get wet. I like, you know, rides that, well, I don't know. Like, sometimes I get splashed when I get on Pirates, and I'm not expecting it. It's a bigger splash than I expected, you know, but it's crazy. Or sometimes I get on, like, Grizzly's River Rapids, and that ride gets you soaked, which is good for the summertime. So, yeah. But Tiana's Bayou Adventure, I would have to assume it'll probably open for us either in October, maybe in November. I don't know. Because we are behind Walt Disney World's Tiana's Adventure. Theirs is going to open next month. Ours is probably going to open 2 or 3 months after theirs. So maybe September, actually. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe September or October. Same with the Virginia likes the same with the Mandalorian. They are making a movie instead of season 4. I didn't know that. I had no idea that they're changing it into a movie instead of a series. Again, it has to do with them cutting back on the amount of stuff that they're putting on Disney Plus exclusively. So that tells you exactly what's going on with the streaming right now. Your mom says, wait, if Moana 2 is happening, then does that mean the Moana live action remake is canceled? Unfortunately not. They're still moving forward with it. I think it's incredibly stupid that we're getting a live action remake. It shouldn't happen. Like, the movie isn't even 10 years old yet. Or has it? Is it 10? No, it's not 10 years old yet. Is it? When did the original Moana movie come out? Was it 2016? I think it was 2016. Yeah, it was 2016. It's not even 10 years old yet. And we're already gonna have a freaking live action remake? That's dumb. Like, that's so stupid. But whatever. I mean, you know, that's what Disney wants to do. Disney only wants to remake their freaking animated shows. I mean, animated movies. Because Disney creatively is bankrupt right now. So, I mean, they're not exactly when it comes to their theme parks, but when it comes to their movies, they are creatively bankrupt. I don't want to get into that. So, that's, yeah, it's, good Lord. Ugh. I don't even, yeah. It's, I don't know. Disney being Disney for remakes, literally. Skeptical Wolf says log flume rides are fun in my opinion, especially for the summer. They're the fun parts of the park. I could probably do log flumes at some point, but like for me right now, it's like, nah, the drops just don't do it for me. Even though I probably would like them now, it's just, you know, it's a whole thing. It's like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Skeptic the Wolf says, I have a soft spot for the Penguins of Madagascar and Kung Fu Panda Legends of Awesomeness. Same. I mean, let me make this clear. When I mentioned that their animation style has been downgraded from what you see in the movies, I'm not trying to mention like the quality of what the shows were, because those 2 shows were good. I love the Penguins of Madagascar show. It was hilarious. It was one of my favorite shows when I was younger. It's a good show. Like, and I'm not even trying to say anything bad about their animation either. Like, it works for what it is for a TV series at the time. But it's a good show. So, trust me, it's a good show. Gillian says, say, Josh, what are your thoughts on the day the Earth blew up, a Looney Tunes movie? I can't wait for that movie to come out. I'm very excited to see it. And, okay. And on that note, I am going to yeet thee out of here. Hold on. Hold it. I hate that this happens. Yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye. Good riddance. Sayonara. Don't come back. But, yeah, because I'm not going to have any of that in the channel. Sorry. If you are not a part of a good, if you are not part of a good, nice, loving community, please leave. Get out of here. I have no tolerance for that kind of behavior in here. Yeah. So get out. But yeah. What was I talking about before? I don't even remember. What were we talking about before? Or no, what? I think there was something I wanted to respond to, I think. Yeah. It was about the Looney Tunes movie. Yeah, I can't wait for that to come out, and I'm definitely going to be checking out that movie when it comes out. Yeah, the day Earth blew up. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking out that movie once it comes out in theaters. I may try to see the first showing of it, or at least not the first showing, but I may at the very least try to see the movie the day it comes out of theaters. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see a trailer for it too. And thank God this is not a Looney Tunes movie that Warner Brothers Discovery decided to write off for tax purposes. Thank goodness for that. I think though it was confirmed, however, that Coyote versus Acme has not been written off, and I think it's still currently being shopped right now, but we don't know. So the future of that movie is still kind of rocky right now, but we're not fully sure if it is going to see the light of day. I hope so, but we haven't heard anything in terms of Coyote versus Acme for a while, so we just don't really know if another movie is gonna, another studio is gonna be able to pick it up and air it. Who knows? Maybe the creators of the movie are trying to fight for this movie. It wouldn't shock me if that were the case at all. Virginia Lake says unnecessary behavior. Glad it isn't tolerated. Hey, yo, listen. When I see certain, like, you know me, Virginia Lake. I'm a moderator of Mondo's stream, right? So when people say stuff that are weird or say things that are totally out of left pocket and whatnot, you know how quick I am to get rid of them. So yeah, that's the same thing here. It was not, like, no sort of like fighting is allowed in the chat. I want this to be a friendly chat. And, I don't want anybody throwing any sort of, like, insults to anybody in there. Especially if we're going to talk about people's parents. Like, do not do that, all right? That is not tolerated whatsoever, okay? That's not the kind of person I am, and that's not the kind of fan or anyone, chat or whatever, that I would want in my live streams whatsoever. So... yeah, exactly. No trauma on the chat. Exactly. Kawaii Life Antonio says, let's hope that we actually get Coyote versus Acme to fully happen. I certainly hope so, honestly. I really, really hope so. Like, I'm glad that at the very least it has not been written off and there's still a possibility that we can see the movie. I just hope that the possibility of seeing the film is way higher than the possibility of us never seeing the film, It deserves to be seen. I mean, especially after the turmoil that has been through right now, because David Zaslav says, nah, we're just gonna delete the film. I mean, I haven't seen the movie, and even though I've heard so many good things about it from blah, 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 it's like, no, like, it deserves, at this point, the movie deserves to be seen. I don't even care if, like, the film happens to actually be lackluster or not that good. Like, it just, after everything has been through, it needs to be seen. It just needs to be seen. So, yeah. Like, they gotta release the film. And also, it would be a stupid business decision for them to do that, because they get, like, a tax write-off, and they only get, like, $30 million from it. They're not even gonna get, like, the full... It's just, yeah. I've said it way too many times. So, I don't need to say it anymore. I think this should be the last question I, answer, and then I think we're gonna end it. So, Skeptic the Wolf says, one last question for you, Josh. Who is your favorite Looney Tunes character? It's not obvious for the reasons you think, but it's Bugs Bunny. It ain't because he's a bunny, okay? But it is Bugs Bunny. I literally love watching Bugs Bunny cartoons. They're one of my all-time favorites. Because of just how hilarious they are. But, like, the best kind of the best kind of Bugs Bunny cartoons, in my opinion, are the ones with Yosemite Sam. I love the ones with Elmer Fudd in it too, but because of how crazy Yosemite Sam is, You know what I mean? I often find that those are the best Bugs Bunny cartoons with him and Yosemite Sam. So I'm definitely like I really love the I love those cartoons. And there also is some with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. Of course the I think it's called Rabbit Seasoning, and of course the classic one. It's rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season. Like how can you not like that particular short? It's hilarious. Like it's one of the best shorts out there, you know? And also one of my favorite non-Bugs Bunny cartoons is the Roadrunner cartoons. I freaking love those. Those are hilarious. Now, sometimes they're not as good. Like I'd say like the later shorts, the later ones, I'm not really like a big fan of those because sometimes they don't get the slapstick right? Like it's kind of like, say, the Chuck Jones era of I mean, Chuck Jones worked on a lot of the Roadrunner cartoons, and those are really good. It's just like the later ones. I think he worked on the later ones, or was that somebody else that worked on those? I'm not sure, but it was kind of at the era where, like, I guess the Looney Tunes, like, you could tell, like, the cartoons were not as good as they used to. The comedy wasn't as good. The art style wasn't as good as they used to be as well. And so you could kind of tell, like, there was, like, a little downgrade in quality in terms of what the Looney Tunes used to be. And so those eras, like, I wasn't really a fan of, though. But, like, the original, like, Roadrunner cartoons and the original Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck cartoons, those are my favorite. So I love those. So I try to watch them as often as I can. That's why I would watch Me TV in the mornings all the time, to watch their Saturday morning cartoons, to watch a lot of Bugs Bunny, like, Looney Tunes cartoons and whatnot. Those are always my favorites. Be honest, did Bugs Bunny inspire you to change your avatar from a bunny, from a pony to a bunny? No, honestly, no. I don't know if I can really say what inspired me to. I think it was just the fact that, like, I just like bunnies, you know? Like, they are my favorite animal. And so I think that was really just what it boiled down to. Like, I wasn't in the brony community anymore, or I wasn't in the brony fandom anymore. And I wasn't really watching My Little Pony at that time as well. And also, it just didn't really make sense for me to continue being a pony, right, on the channel anymore. So, especially since I didn't really watch the show or really talk much brony stuff at all, you know, on the channel. So for me at the time, I was like, you know what, I gotta change things up. Let me create another character. You know what, let's have it be a rabbit this time. And so that's literally what I did. I don't think I would have created a different, like, animal character for the channel if it was not a bunny. I don't know if there would have been another animal I would have used for this. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I think that is kind of the story there ish, I think. Yeah, actually, hold on. Skeptic the Wolf says, my favorite Looney Tune character would have to be Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. They're funny as heck. They really are. Like, every single time I watch those cartoons, I'm always just flat out laughing. Like, I just can't. It's hilarious. They are so funny. Gillian says Eric Balsa wanted Coyote versus Acme to be released even when he was hosting the Annie Awards. Yeah, that speech that he did at the Annie Awards between Daffy and Bugs, the coolest thing I think anyone has ever been able to do. Like, it is so cool to just see a voice actor as they are and just see them, like, do all of their different voices, you know what I mean? Like, it would be so cool to see, like, Tom Kenny in person just doing different, like, voices just on the spot, right? Like, when I was in line to meet Roger Bumpass at the Anime Expo years ago, so I could, like, get a picture with him and also get a signed autograph, like, card of Squidward. Like, he was also kind of doing, like, the Squidward voice every now and then, kind of like reciting some of the lines from the show. And it was so freaking cool. It was so cool, man. Like, I love that kind of stuff. So to be able to see like Eric kind of do that at the speech at the Annie Awards was really cool. And the other cool thing about it is there's somebody who has done like a really cool like animated like clip of him doing that speech. Not the entire speech, but basically when Daffy says, "I hate to be political, but release Coyote versus Acme," somebody did like a really, really good animation of that clip. And it's so freaking cool. Like, I wish I had a link to it. I'd have to find it somewhere, but it's really, really, really cool. It's awesome. It's awesome. But Jonathan says, gotta go, Josh. Thank you very much for joining in the stream. I'm actually going to be heading out as well. I'm hearing my stomach growling. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Hopefully you can't. But I'm getting very hungry, so I need, and it's 3 o'clock, so I'm having a late lunch. So I really do need to make me some lunch right now. So yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining in this live stream. I really, of course, I always enjoy doing the live stream with you guys. I love chatting with you guys. It's always a lot of fun being able to answer your questions and just chatting with you guys, having like a discussion, you know what I mean? I really do enjoy doing those. And yeah, I hope to do some more, you know what I mean? Remember when people were booing David Zaslav? That was both hilarious and satisfying at the same time. Oh, absolutely. Agreed. But yeah, like, again, excuse me. I hope to be able to do some more live streams. And honestly, it shouldn't matter if I post a video or if I don't post a video. I should just do more live streams in general. You know what I mean? I don't know when I'm going to do a next one. They're always unscheduled, so I can't necessarily promise if I do one next week or if I do one in 2 weeks or whatever. You know, it's a whole thing. But yeah, again, either way, excuse me, thank you guys so much for joining in this live stream. I hope you guys had a good time. Hopefully I do have a video coming out this week, most likely on a Friday. We'll see what happens when it comes to that. We'll try to make the schedule work between me and Alex when it comes to when he can edit a video and whatnot. So we'll see. But yes, Angel Spears 624, Jalen the Creator, Kawaii Life, Antonio, Zach, History Notes. Damn, I think you just got here. That sucks. I apologize for that. I mean, I did start the stream a little earlier than I usually do, so, but yeah, you can watch it back. Hopefully you can catch the next stream I do, which, whenever that is. I'm not quite sure, though, but, yeah, but, hello, either way. Hope to catch you next time. Skeptor Wolf, your mom, of course, man, you're the only person that makes streams like this fun, my opinion at least. I appreciate that. I honestly appreciate that. I'm glad that you enjoy watching these streams and think that these streams are fun. I'm glad that these streams are fun. You know, because sometimes I feel like I have a little low energy when I'm like talking with you guys, and I'm not really sure if you guys are like really still into it or anything. But you know, as long as you guys are still having a good time, then it's awesome. It's great. Yeah, I think I said bye to Kawaii Life, Antonio, Mache, Delice Hub or something. I think so. I think that is it. I think that is it on everybody. So everybody, thank you so much for joining in the stream. I hope to see you guys next time, preferably in a video next time. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and I most likely won't see you guys next week, so hopefully you guys also have a good weekend next week as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining in the stream. Hope you guys have a good rest of your Sunday, and remember, you're hearing it from a regular bunny in a regular world. Peace out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for joining. Have a good day. Take care. Goodbye.